How much do curves and risers affect the pulling capabilities of your locomotives? Let's find out. Stay tuned. We're using an Intermountain SD40-2 DCC without sound, obviously an N scale. And you'll see we have 26 freight cars hooked up to it, which vary in size, weight, and wheel material. Starting off, we're on a flat surface and a relatively straight track. And using our Digitrack system, we're going to slowly creep up to 10 on the power. And you'll see that this locomotive is kind of struggling, but it is pulling it. We're going to make our way into the 16.5-inch radius curve. And things are going to start to struggle just a little bit. Or I should say a little bit more. Through the corners, the drive wheels aren't getting as much contact with the track, and there's a lot more drag with all the cars through the turn. As it straightens out, it's going to get a lot easier. And we're coming up to our second curve right here. And this might actually stall out the locomotive, but I am positive it will not make it anywhere once it hits our riser starting there. So we have a bit of the train on the curve here and a bit of the train on the curve there. And it is slowing down for sure, but it's still trucking. We'll see how quickly it's going to stall out once it hits this incline. And just like that, it's done. There is no surprise the train stalled out as soon as it started going uphill. You can see how many of the cars are on the curve and how many of the cars are on the straight part of the track. There was no way that single engine is going to pull 26 cars up a hill. That is a 2% grade. Most of it is straight, aside from the start right there and the 90-degree turn right here, which ends right there. Now let's see how many cars we have to pull off the train for this engine to make it up the hill. We have pulled off half the cars, so we're now just running 13, and we'll see if this can now make it up the hill. The full train is now on the hill, but we are on the straight part, but this locomotive is starting to slow down and struggle. But it is still going. But will it be able to make it through the curve? Oh, it stopped right there. We're now with 12 cars, speed setting 12, and it's climbing the hill pretty good if you ask me. Getting to our trouble spot. Ooh, yeah, it doesn't like that spot. Slowed the wheel speed down just a bit, and it makes it through. It's starting to have a much harder time in the curve. Almost the full train is in the curve, pretty close. Once this locomotive gets to this flat spot, right there, that means it's a win. It'll be okay now. So 12 cars is all this locomotive can do going up the hill versus 26 on the flat. With the same load of cars, we are now going to attempt to climb the other hill. This is 16.5-inch radius, about 180 degrees or more. Still 2%, but I think we're going to see a pretty big difference. Look at that. We have already stalled out. We have removed 2 of our freight cars. We'll see how much better it goes. And we made it. So what did we learn? Well, obviously a train going up a hill is not going to be able to pull as much as a train on flat ground. But we did learn the difference between flat ground and going up a hill can be massive. We pulled 26 cars through a relatively straight track on flat ground to just 12 cars going up a hill. That's a reduction of more than 50% in total weight. That's huge! We also learned that going up this tighter 16.5-inch radius, 180-degree turn was more difficult than going up this 18-inch radius, 90-degree turn. I also discovered that turns and even turnouts made an impact on flat ground. So you may need to make some adjustments to your layout plan or the layout itself in terms of how much straight track you have, how many curves and how tight they are, how steep your risers are, and if there are any curves in your incline. Of course, you may just need to factor in how much pulling power you're going to need. 2 or 3 locomotives may be what's required for your layout. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and thanks for watching.